whatever it happens to be. I'm making this video to do a guide on Everquest ISBoxer and how best to set it up. I have received several requests from guildies since they know I use ISBoxer to walk them through how to get this set up so that way they can use it to play their own characters easier. So this is the main ISBoxer toolkit. You get this when you download and get the subscription to ISBoxer, which is about $45 for Interspace for a year. You bring this up, and I would definitely recommend doing the quick setup wizard guide. I'm not going to go through it in this case because I've already done it for my characters, but I can show you basically what it looks like. So in this case, you would do the drop down, choose the game, which in this case is Everquest, and then you would pick from here, from Everquest, the whatever characters that you want to have listed. So, and then once you have it selected here, you can put in the account name, put the game name here, and then as a profile, like here, I'll basically show you. So for my main character, this is my main character's account, and like you could pick EQ and then Everquest no patch, and you would click add character to team, and then you do that for all your characters. Then you just keep going through the rest of the walkthrough, and once it happens, basically this is what will be up with some WoW hotkeys and stuff, but I always delete those. So this is my 6-box crew: my Shadow Knight, my Enchanter, my Cleric, my Wizard, my Magician, and my Bard. And then this is what's called a character set. It's the one that has all those characters, and it shows you basically everything for those characters. So one thing I do, especially with my Cleric, is I log into the game and I had set up a invite hotkey, and that's under, I went to key maps, under custom hotkeys. You can see I put it here for invite, and it's basically a global hotkey that I hit my mouse 5 button, and when I do that, you go to steps here and target all with current, and that hits the hotkey, which on my Shadow Knight and every other one of my characters is right here on the second hotbar. So by hitting my mouse, my number 5 mouse key, I invite everyone, invite Doliorn, invite Skyrest, Luvel, Domag, and Taliesin in that order every single time. And on the other characters, they also have one that says /invite, which is how to accept the invite. But they each one have a pause in front of it. So like Doliorn just has /invite, Skyrest has /pause5, then the other ones go pause 10, pause 15, pause 20, pause 25. It just ensures that way they get invited in the same order every single time. So now we can go back. And then I have another similar hotkey set up for follow, which has all my other characters follow my Shadow Knight. It obviously here as a target is all without current. Basically that means that'll send the hotkey press to every other character instance except for the one that I'm currently using, which in this case is the Shadow Knight. So that way they all follow the Shadow Knight. And then I have here a bunch of my hotkeys set up so that way I can hit one hotkey and it'll be transmitted to all the characters. So if I hit my number one hotkey for my number one hotbar, it hits the number one hotkey for the number one hotbar on all 6 characters. And I have that set up for all 12 hotkeys on the first hotbar. And then after that, I go back to the main character set, and once I know that the order that my cleric is going to have in the group, then I can set up the performance, which I have all 16 cores for all of my characters selected. And then for variable keystrokes, this is the important part, especially for the Clickbar that I made, is you have to, for each character, like say target slot 1, that's the first slot or the first character, which in my case is my Shadow Knight, which for my cleric is always F2. Then target slot 2 is my enchanter Doleorn, which is always F3. My cleric is in slot 3, so that would be F1, and then the wizard, magician, and bard are all the same, and thanks to the pause in the invites, they are always in the same order. And then you just go through all of your characters and do the same thing. Just make sure you have the correct F keys set up for each of your characters based on what, if you were playing that character. Like, it's not really necessary if you're not using a click bar with that particular character, but it does come in handy just in case. And another thing I would suggest going to is up here in the characters. You don't use really anything for the virtual key maps, variable keystrokes, or key map white or blacklist really. But what I like doing is I make sure I have the account name, Everquest no patch, and just to make sure that that's all the same. And so then after that, the best thing I like to do is I have right now 2 click bars set up, one for healing. That's that way when my group is on, you can see here that I have a little box here with all 6 of my characters' names, and if my cleric was on, you'd be able to either just mouse over the name, and that would have my cleric basically target that character, and then either do a single heal if I left click, or do a group heal if I right click. And then I also have one set up for Mez that when my enchanter's in the group, that if there's a bunch of enemies on my extended target window, I can mouse over and have my enchanter will target those characters, and then I can left click for single target mez and right click for a group mez. And so now I'm gonna help you get that set up. Like basically in order to set that up, what you have to do is make another key map. So what I did was make a group heal, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6. So basically one for each character. And then I have just a way to have everyone that's in the group heal. Sorry, one thing you should do is go to action target groups and make an action target group and name it something like heals, group heals, whatever you want to do. I decided to name mine group heals, and then that's where you basically group all the group heals. And then here under the character, you go to action target group and just make sure that you have those selected. So you can see my cleric is in group heals, but no other character is. And just to verify that, you can go to the action target groups and see that Under group heals, just my cleric is there, so my cleric will be the only one who will respond to those clicks on that bar. Same thing for the mez bar with my enchanter. No one else is in that action target group, so no one else will respond to those click commands on that bar. And then I basically have it set up so that with my here I created a simple heal 1. This is the single target heal. I put it again for all of group heals, and I put the key combination as the single target heal, the highest level fast cast heal that I have. And then for simple heal 2, that's the one that I have set up for casting my group heal. And that's based on where I keep those spells in my spell bar. And then after that, once that's created, you go to Clickbars, Healing Bar, and here you have, I made a basically 6 columns with 1 row, 1 for each character. And then if you select on it, you can see it has here, it says slot 2 in brackets. That way, that's ISBoxer's way to know that in game, once you hit the key to bring that up, that it will have the actual character's name. And then in left click, you can see I have it selected as the current window, healing, which is the key map, and the map key, which is simple heal 1, which is a single target heal. And then the right click is the same thing, except it has a simple heals 2,
Man
which
moved
is
in from
the
silent redemption by the
heal.
server.
And so that's the way I do it for each one of those. Another good idea though is, in order to be able to show or hide the healing bar, I have mine set up to for I hit F10, that will either show or hide the healing click bar for every
Man moved to
character.
Emerald Jungle.
And also, if
Man
you
entered channel.
definitely want to have it with their names, and this is not something you can do with like the mez bar, because there's no set names there that you can choose from. Like there's no slot names, but here all you have to do is do the same thing. Just make action like basically key map actions, and do window all with current, healing bar, button 1 and so like here, if you were to make a click bar button action, that's what I'm talking about there. So you would do current, all with current, click bar healing, button 5 and then you could put in the text of bracket slot 5 and then close the bracket. And then that would name that bracket with the character's name. And I'm deleting that because I don't really need that. But so F10 is one you can set the bar on, like you do a click bar action state, and hitting F10 turns it on, and then if you hit it again, it turns it off. So you do click bar action, healing bar, window all with current, click bar, healing bar off. So that way you can, if you don't happen to need it for whatever reason, like for instance right now I can hit F10 and get rid of that healing bar, and then if I hit it again, it comes right back. So that's how you basically make a click bar. And for the click bar, you do have the option here of messing with the border size, the opacity, the height and width of the cells. You can do whatever happens to feel comfortable for you, and you can then go into your game, hit Alt Control Shift G, which is the default, to bring the ISBoxer setup, and then you just show all, and then you can move the bar around to any place that you want that's easily accessible. And then I did basically the same thing with the Mez Clickbar. I created a key map. The difference with this one is though, like you can't do the slot part. So what you have to do for especially like the extended target window is in order to target that, you have to do a slash xtar space 2. So in order to do that, you put a keystroke action, and then group all of mez, and then you hit slash xtar. You basically spell it out one letter at a time, making sure you put space and enter. And then when you do the mouse over, that will type that into it and hit enter really quickly, but it's basically instantaneous as far as the game goes, so you won't ever notice it. And you do that for the same, the X target 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 spots. And then I made a single mez hotkey that hits my single target mez, and one that hits my group mez. So, and then on the click bar, I just have those set up as right click and left click for each one of those. And then here, I'm going to finish making a click bar for my Shadow Knight. It's going to be for basically aggro. I am going to be kind of copy pasting this to the aggro, just it makes it easy to just be able to change that. And then I want to set this up as Control F10. So then I'm gonna go and don't need to worry about the buttons since there's nothing that they're gonna be doing to have anything to where they can target as far as like characters. So I'm just gonna rename this real fast. And I just change this back to aggro, off, map as aggro, show hide aggro bar. And then just to double check everything, I always just go look to see what I did in the first one, just to make sure it's the same both ways around. So this one is supposed to be okay. I said, I just always like double checking to make sure that they are the same. Okay, so I got that done, and I have single target aggro set for all of aggro to hit the number 1 key. And then I'm going to get rid of that step. Basically, make a copy of this one, except I'm gonna rename this to life tap key. And then group all of aggro, and I'm gonna hit my num2 since that's my number 2 slot on the hotbars hotkey list. So then I go to aggro buttons. I'm gonna basically copy the same width and height as the mez button, so 125 over 22. Right now I'm only going to set it up as for 4 targets. So go to the buttons, 4 columns times 1, 125 over 22. So I'll go ahead and get that entered. So there's that. So then here, just put xtar1 text style. I like putting basically white personally. That's just me. Then you left click on it to window current, key map aggro, map key single aggro, and you go down here, it says do map key aggro xtar1. And like I said, you can always go to your other ones to double check to see how that makes sure everything is the same. So there's that, and then to make the second one, you right click on the box and do the same thing. Window current, key map, aggro. But this time I'm choosing the life tap key. And then I do that for all of them. Left click, window current, aggro, single aggro. Let's just do that all over.
I don't want to take a showering. Zoe, you're sleeping overnight again. What? I am hot.
Oh, my dad's going.
And I'm coming.
Dad, he'll pick me up later. Does he love me? Okay, I'll stay here. My hair is definitely big. I'll ask my dad. Of all your stuff.
I'm just gonna do this for this one and the XR4. I'll be making more of this later, but this will.
We could go out to eat.
Show you what I'm talking about.
I'm hungry.
Sounds like a good idea.
Your stuff is all packed for my dad's. Yay! There. It's not that. I just haven't seen him in a long time. Well, you can also play with me. You can also play upstairs.
Okay, so now that's made, I just go ahead and save. And once everything's done, you click export to Interspace.
Yeah, but I'm not leaving my phone.
And then to show you how that would work out,
Your phone
do click bars, show all,
is going to be in here
and see this is the Aggro click bar. So I'm just gonna real fast
Debbie, you got a lot of stuff.
place it to where it lines up
I'm going to get myself a milk.
with your extended target window. Then click Save As. Click Alt Shift Control G. In this case, I'm going to get rid of the Miz window because I don't need it right now. And to show just that it works,
So you'll have your stuff all packed.
I'm going to make it pet.
That's what? I'm going to be spending my money. You know what? My mom?
So I'll add the current target, which is my pet. Then I'll hit Control F10 to bring it back.
Okay, you just want to say something.
One nice trick that you can do about this is create a video source. I just named it after my Shadow Knight. And then that green box shows up. You just have that line up. Make green space is basically the spot that is going to be showing. So then I click Save As.
Throwing it away. I thrown it away. Now, yeah. Huh?
And then in order to get rid of that box, all you have to do is go back to your buttons for aggro and just put like
That's all I'm spending on my milk.
10 for transparency, or you can even do 0 if you want once you have it set up.
Too much.
So then you export it again to interspace. I hit Alt F10 to get rid of that. So then you can see just by, if I clear my target and then just by mousing over, I'll bring up that. And then left clicking hits my, and that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to make a comment.
He's busy right now.
Hope you have a great day.
It's just